Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah, your Christian forgiveness coach, and you are watching or listening to Forgive Everyone for Everything Every Day Right Away, episode number 31, Forgiveness and Writing. So today I want to offer you all some really great tools for your forgiveness work that I have learned and used over the years that have been super helpful and often quite therapeutic. So for me personally, like I have one of those racing minds. Like my brain likes to thought loop. It likes to offer me all sorts of fake scenarios about any given person or situation. My best friend and I call it the journey we take in our minds. And it's mostly fiction. And I'm not saying this in and of itself is a good or a bad thing. You will know by how it makes you feel whether or not this is serving you to do this. But if you feel stuck or tormented or depressed or angry, then you may want to decide it's time to take a look at what's going on in there. And we're often just letting our brains run wild, right? Like with no supervision. And we really need to be supervising our brains, because if we're not, it's like a playground for the enemy, okay? So one way that I like to write is to just journal. And there are no rules here. Journaling can look like anything you want it to look like. And for this type of writing, which I like to call just like thought downloading, it's just write what you're thinking, period. Simple. No filters, no judgment. You can do it on a napkin, you can do it in a notebook, you can scribble it on school paper, buy a pretty journal, whatever you want to do. You can keep it, you can burn it. There are no rules, anything goes here. Just put your thoughts on paper, getting them out of your head and written down. So sometimes this exercise alone is enough. Like it's out of your brain. You may feel better. If it's nighttime, you may be able to go back to sleep right away or just get on with your day. Other times you may want to reread it. You may decide to think about it, to evaluate it, whatever that looks like for you. The point is to just journal and get it out of your brain. I like to think of it as, dusting the house. We got to clean the house, so to speak. We got to dust out that brain, create some awareness as to what's going on in there, and decide if you want to start supervising it. Okay. Another way to write is just like to brainstorm. I love lists. I love to-do lists. I love pros and cons lists. I use lists when I'm trying to make a decision about something. I love the list of 25 wants. This is a really fun exercise to create some awareness around what you want in life, and also some gratitude around what you already have that you want. So if you want to try this exercise, write down 25 things you want in life. Now, this list can and should include things you already have. So let's say you're already married and you want to be married. Your list will have be married on it. And there might be a few things on there that you want for your future. And so it's a great way to take a look at those so you can then ask yourself in another fun writing exercise, like, where do I want to be with this want regards to this want in like a month, a year, 5 years, something like that. And that gives your brain a fun goal to focus on. Which brings me to another fun exercise. It's like writing a letter. Have you ever written a letter to yourself? You may have done this in school or something, like writing a letter to your future self or your past self. I love this exercise because it can really help you gain fresh, new perspectives, either about your past, about your current beliefs with regards to where you want to go in the future. So for example, if you're struggling with something in the past, like maybe it's a person or something that happened, and maybe you're doing some forgiveness work in this area, So take you right now, write a letter to the person you were back then in the past. So let's say, just for example, you were 18. Right now, write a letter to your 18-year-old self and just tell him or her what you want them to know, like from your perspective now. And this can really help if you're having trouble forgiving yourself for something. And then, kind of on the flip side of that, let's say you're feeling really stuck and you're struggling with something like right now in the present. This is when I like to access my future self, say 5, 10, 20 years, whichever, then write a letter to myself now. What does my future self want me to know? What does she want me to know about me? What does she want me to know about the situation? What does she want me to know about our future? So this is such a good exercise to put current circumstances into perspective, especially when it feels like today or this week is like your worst day ever, or like whatever you're struggling with is this very big, overwhelming thing that's like taking over everything. So I will do these letters to myself for very specific things, but I also have like an ongoing list for like in general what my future self wants me to know now. So whenever I'm struggling, I'll kind of bust out that list and I'll read it. So I actually have it sitting here. I'll read to you now a couple things I have on this list. So whenever I'm struggling, this list is called What My Future Self Wants Me to Know. So the first thing on the list that she wants me to know is, first of all, you're right where you're supposed to be. Deep breath, okay? Second, she wants me to know, give your worries and troubles to God. He's got this. Stay open to what he wants to teach you. Even through mistakes, he will make things good when you stay focused on him. You knew going in, not everyone's gonna like you. It's okay. It's not about you. When we focus on ourselves, we suffer. Process the emotion and take the focus off yourself. Describe your feeling. That's all this is. It's a vibration in your body that can't hurt you. This is the worst that can happen, and it's not a problem. And then the last one on my list is love is always an option, and it's the best one. So that's just an example of one of my lists that my future self is wanting me to know now. So another writing exercise you can try, especially in regards to relationships that are having conflict, you can try writing a letter to that person that you're having conflict with. And in this letter, nobody's going to see this letter. It's just for you. It's just a writing exercise. It's a private exercise. And then when you're writing this letter to the person you're having conflict with, just let it fly. Tell them every single thing you want them to know. Don't hold back. You're not going to send this letter, remember, so just let it all out. Then write another letter to yourself from that other person, from their perspective, what you imagine they want to say to you, what they're going through, what they want you to know. Again, no holding back. So this is a really great exercise to try when you're struggling with unforgiveness. Last one, another fun exercise that I've heard of, I've never tried it for myself, but you may find it helpful, especially if you're a writer and you're creative and you love to write. One way could be like writing poems about your feelings or experiences. Another way could be even writing like a fictional story. You could create a narrative about your situation, and just the creation of that, the writing about it, maybe making it into a story on paper instead of in your mind, may be like a really great therapeutic way for you to process something. So I hope some of these ideas help you as you grow in your forgiveness work done with love. And I want you to know that I never would have gotten to where I am without coaching and help with this kind of stuff. So if you want to take your forgiveness work to a deeper level or explore any of the concepts I teach in your life or relationships, please contact me through my website, thechristianforgivenesscoach.com. You can book your first session there for free. If it's not me, reach out to anybody, any coach that resonates with you, and get help with this stuff. I promise you won't regret it. And I'd also love to just hear from you. If you have any comments or stories to share, email me at thechristianforgivenesscoach@gmail.com. Until next time, bye.